Guys, it's Richard Rose here and welcome back to another Mushy Monday. Today we are playing Our Life Beginning and Always. We previously played Our Life Now and Forever. I did check their itch.io page. I do show that they're going through a few things. You know how we can get caught up in life, so I'm just wishing them the best as they go through that process, and I'll continue to look out for updates for that game. We just finished up Paradise Marsh, so I wanted to go ahead and get back to Our Life series for you guys. So we're going to start today Our Life Beginning and Always. To start off, the game is divided into 4 periods called steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, young adulthood. And step 4, adulthood. Our life is further divided in sets of vignettes that take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You can move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting the summer is ending. Steps 1 through 3 include 5 moments. Each and even more can be unlocked by purchasing DLC. Some are out now and the DLC will be released later on. So I will be purchasing DLC for that, so look out for that too. Step 4 is the epilogue. It doesn't include moments. A lot happens over the years that goes by, especially in regard to the characters you play as. You determine nearly everything about the main character's name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interests, skills, their relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, eye color cannot be altered once set. Much of MC's basic traits are determined on the character creation screen. As the MC grows up, more options become available on screen. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type in any name you like, and you can pick a present name. Present options are called voice names because the names will be voiced along by the romantic lead. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Oh, we get voices in this? Only the default name, Jamie, is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free voice name. Oh, okay. A full collection of names is separate out of a DLC because of how large it is. If you're not interested in that feature, you don't need to get it. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was selected by someone who supported the project. On the character's creation screen, there's a cute doll you can decorate to get an idea of what MC looks like with the different traits put together. Not all the things you decide about the MC appears on the doll. The script referencing what you've decided for MC is the main way those decisions influence the game. Our Life has a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to the other character sprites. You only see the MC as a decorative doll and in special cutscenes CG images. And the cut-in CG only appears if certain choices are made. It's possible to not see any through a playthrough. There's also a second type of special MC-based screen, the interest/comfort screen. Unless you get DLCs, the game has one love interest. Cove Holden. He grows up with the MC in the interest/comfort screen is critical for determining how they plays out. Interest level set. Okay, here we go. Round face, pointed, oval, peach. I have a bit of a round face. Tan. She. I have a brown, beige, yellow, gold, orange, red, pink, purple, blue, green, gray, brown. No freckles. Slender. I'll do none for this. Arm. No. Pants. Hat. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of ocean crisp salty hung in the air, bringing 3 months of school-less vacation with it. During the summer, your mom didn't like you to wander too far outside of the neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird But they mostly stayed and did what your mom called put down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing through their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant the familiar, friendly residents wave, or you ask how your family was, or how often just said hello. You didn't really get why said hi, but you end up saying hi a lot of different people, since most of the tourists came and went every summer. Some were the same ones. Now, you enjoy learning all about where they were visiting from and hope to visit those places one day too. But today, there's a man sitting on the curb outside of your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person, or a statue that had magically sprung from the ground overnight. Now, whatever he is, you hadn't seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was the people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your mom called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your mom had to talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening. They mentioned some people aren't good to talk to. You remember it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite to him. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. You were pretty interested. You wanted to know more what was going on, whether he was nice or not. You didn't want to be bothered. Yes. You slowed down your mind, racing for ideas of how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met and you took in a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but still you didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of the nearby gatepost, and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started making his way towards you. Your whole body froze in place as he approached. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked at the man up and down, taking his tanned skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had a shark on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you unexpectedly, waiting for an answer to his question. I live right there. My name is Rose. Yeah, I live here. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill and crinkled it in his hand, and he held it to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Could you do me a favor? Nothing bad, sorry. Let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood straighter. From where you were standing, it made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. Oh. Cove. That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you, but definitely the kind of name someone like this guy would give his kid, yeah. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching a late afternoon sunlight and reflected off the walls. There's a gigantic for sale sign. It was finally gone. And you must be Rose Smith, right? I met your moms earlier and they told me you were 8, just like him, so. He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to my attention and hopefully smiled, tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with my boy? Just give it a chance and you can keep this. He's a good boy. You'll like him. But you gotta keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man. What could be so bad about this Cove kid that his dad would need to bribe strangers to be friends with him? What'd you say? You want to make a deal? You didn't want the money. No thank you, sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely. It won't be so bad, even if it's just for the summer, it'll be enough. They only made the sound more strange to you. Why does it last the summer matter? When it's clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into his back pocket and changed the request. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit, no money involved? Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the side. So, like, I would have no problem, like, being friends with his son. I just didn't want the money. I bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but, well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss him. Sure thing. This definitely wasn't a normal way for kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out and patted on your head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your mom's already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. I can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back, and that's not what's important. I have to go. Oh, so that's why he was sitting at our door with his head in his hands. Thanks again, Rose, so much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decided to check the hills behind your house. $10, he's back there. First sight. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea. You didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially, yeah. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Oh, there was a boy sitting on top of the hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees and staring ahead of himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him for a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you found a deer in the wild, though deer didn't have pink casts. But this new boy did. You wondered how he got it. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another, and then he glances your way. His aquarium eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hi. With a start, he jumped to his feet and his hands balled into a fist at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at him, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes widened, he studied you. How did you know that? I met your dad. So this is your heel? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. You shook your head. While doing so, you also picked a small strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. Pure white flowers that covered the hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the skies made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it trailed over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked that question. Almost like they'd never stop, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom and my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. An outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffles and removed his glasses, wiping his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. Oh, I'm sorry. He slipped his hand underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again, another long crying fit. You felt bad for him being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms. Oh, but it must have been pretty hard. But from the way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Rose. Cove. Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to the house. I want to go home. It will be okay. It'll be okay. You weren't struck by a sudden need. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not going to be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood with you, looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked towards the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. You waited silently with them. Yeah, I get it. Do you? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad even closer than before. There you are, bud. The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Oh, these are our moms! Both your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Rose, you're here after all. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone further away. No, we're just sitting in the grass. Thank goodness you're both fine. You two are having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushed at his arms. He's good. I think I'm gonna... Yes, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, squalling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thank you very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Rose knows the whole area as well. Absolutely. We should get getting home now. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure. Sure, I can show him my stuff. Of course. Then okay. Both your moms laugh and the sound overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mom put her arm around your shoulder and led towards the path. Satisfied and more than little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Oh, choosing your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel towards Cove for this step. It could change later. I feel relaxed and a bit of a crush. Yes. The next morning, you finished your breakfast so fast that you practically inhaled it. Your sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, you just like your moms had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again today, Rose? Yeah, a lot.
How sweet.
Isn't that just the sweetest thing? I bet the two of them are going to have great playmates.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Yeah. With all the expirations of an 8-year-old can muster, you look at your empty cereal bowl, then at Mom. Okay, attitude kid, we see. Good job. He should be here soon. Cleanup began, and then on cue, there was a knock. It was hesitant, like the person wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud, though. Oh, we need to get more obvious doorbell. I know. Rose, could you get it? You practically leaped out of your chair on the way to the door. Oh, hey Smith family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your mom have called him, and his son were here. Clove looked different in the bright light in your living room than when he wasn't crying. with his dad standing in front of him and mom and mommy behind you, and Cove looked at each other. Pleased to see the interesting new boy again, you smiled at Cove. Cove returned it shyly. Let's go play in my room.
Okay.
Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids. See you, son. Play nice. Well, you led him to your room, puffing out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. Oh, this is cute. There's a lot of stuffed animals and a cool bed, a window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it in a while, but you're really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer to one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. I drew that. Cool. You smiled at him and you were proud of the particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed. I am also an artist, so I do enjoy stuff like that. He turned to look around the room a little more, studied the books on your desk and pictures on the wall. You were glad for the company. You hope he liked your room. He had put a lot of effort into making your room as nice as it was. You'd hope he didn't say anything bad about it. Then his eyes landed on a tiny box of beach things you'd collected tucked away on your door. On your door? I hope I read that right. Let me see. Tiny box of beach things you collected tucked away by your door. Okay, by your door. What's that? A hoard of stuff I found on the beach. Do you have any driftwood in there? Dragging the box into the middle of the room, you and Cole flopped down next to it. I think so. Yeah, see? Ooh, angel number. You gestured to a small piece at the bottom, still covered in specks of sand. Neat. This collection is good. This is a good collection. You got the sense from the tone of his voice that he wasn't just saying it to be nice or like, Shoal, he actually meant it. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Shoal's gonna be here today. Shoal? Lizzie's friend, or like her #1 fan, I guess. Do I have to see him? It should be okay. I mean, he's Lizzie's friend, not mine, but you know. Come on, check out my shell somewhere. I found this one under a big piece of seaweed that was washed ashore, and you pulled out the seashell after seashell, explaining how you got each one, holding them up against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaned off the sand. Your voice faltered a little, but you kept going. The collection was huge. Apparently fascinating by either the story or by the shells themselves, Cole listened with looked like a full force of his attention. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab. I have hiccups. Like when you almost got pinched by a hermit crab while searching for shells, and after watching him scuttle back into the ocean, you found another empty shell that was almost a twin to his home. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus. For some reason, it was making your cheeks feel warm. You never felt like this around someone before. It was kind of weird. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but mommy wasn't giving you much of a chance to hang out. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guess it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not the parents made it happen. Mr. Holton must be right that telling Cove his dad part would be a bad idea. Before you knew it, you both been escorted downstairs, deposited to the living room, ready for Shoal's visit. The two of you sat side by side on the floor of your home's entryway. I brought a box of shells. I wanted to keep looking at them. You should have asked. Okay, but be careful. I will. You weren't sure if you could trust someone else in your treasures yet, so you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cole reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this one is the best one of them. Aw. You can take it. Cove looked at you in surprise, his eyes going wide. Really? Sure, you like it a lot, right? But I don't want to take it from you. It's okay. You got the impression he was hesitant to accept something because he didn't know you very well. He insisted. No, it's okay for you. You pushed the shell against Shell's chest, willing willing him to receive the present, but Cole firmly shook his hand and kept his arms tight to his sides. It was a battle you couldn't win, at least not today. Cole was your neighbor now, and maybe you could give it to him another time. The two of you were still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped, startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shawl. He knew where to look for that. Lizzie's friend? You nodded, but it didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell that he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. He'll be alright. He's here. He can't tell him to leave. He's our only door. And if you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove gazed around the room, and his eyes wide, and finally paused, with his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking towards it. Scrambling to think of something to say, you step forward, then pause. Do you want to break your other arm? Even if I don't jump out of any windows here, this is my house. The distance from the first floor living room to the window wasn't far, but you could tell it made Cole nervous anyway. He touched a cast on his arm. The wind had clearly released from his sails. I don't want to break any more bones. I don't think anyone wants to. Yeah. I don't want to see him. I don't know him. Tease him. Come on. You're a bigger boy than he is. If anything anything's do go bad, you can take care of him. Maybe you're right. Shoal poked his head in the living room. It was impossible to know for sure if he heard what you saying or not, but you guess he had. Oh, he's adorable. Hi, Rose. Hi, Cole. Cole shot you an uneasy glance. Hi. I'm Shoal. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. You have a lot of freckles. Right, I do. What are you guys doing? We're looking at shells. Awesome. Can I do it too? Cove shrugged and looked back at your box of beautiful findings. What about that one? The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at beach findings some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else, especially Cove, if Cove was having fun. Hey, check out this scallop shell I found. Cool, right? It's pretty color, kind of like my cast. The beautiful glittering pink did look a little bit like a wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay. Is it your favorite? Not really. What is it? Maybe green or blue. Might be yellow. Oh, those are all cool. I'm not sure how to do this sudden more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shoal to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shoal did seem to know what to do with himself. And Cole wasn't like your sister. Wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aw, where'd she go? I think she's at the beach, probably. Is she playing at her park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of a park, and he looked towards you. There's a park? Yep, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before he had even answered, and Shoal jumped up behind him, excitement. Really? You do too? Rose, the park is fun. The park is pretty great. Yeah, it's right at the beach. There's a lot of fun stuff to do, and lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. That sounds like it could be cool. So are we going to find Lizzie? I don't know. I never really wanted to see her. I just want to check the park out. Adrift without any direction. Shoal finally turned to you. Okay. He perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It was a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was so short that she always allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging on the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up and she swung when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Rose, Shoal, hi. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. In a split second, Shoal had abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You were used to being left out when it was just the three of you, but now Cove is here. It was nice to have someone who stuck with you. Oh, she is adorable. Oh my gosh. Who's that? It's Cove. He's new. I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody comes here to play here, so that's where we're here together. Her gestured wildly with her arms as if to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took a chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Huh? Nice. In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. She seems like the bossy type. You are? Yeah, I am. Who else can handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. Mom said you're Rose's age. Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in this group with double digits. What about other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here. Shoal's just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is the land of ancients. Be careful. The oldies don't try to steal your youth. Oh, for a second, it looked like he might cry again. But something in his eyes shifted and he looked back at Lizzie. What kind of old people? Like moms, dads, or grandparents? Grandparents who don't have kids, they hate kids. Why? I haven't done anything. Stop saying stuff like that. You're going to upset them. Only some of them don't like kids. You interject quickly, hoping Lizzie wouldn't take things too far. Cove sniffled, his shoulders creased with worry. Liz was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that when she was there. He went into his own head. Shoal was next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Rose in school. You'll see tons of kids there once summer's over. I don't want to go to the new school. I don't want summer to end. Shoal looked down into the dirt. He hadn't had much of luck striking up conversation with Cove. I like summer vacation a lot too. And the building tension in the air suddenly vanished when Lizzie laughed. At Shoal's discomfort at how weird she thought Cove was, at something else entirely you didn't really know. But she laughed, face scrunching up. Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Take a seat, put your feet up, and get used to it. You offered him a small smile, and at last, he looked to reassure himself. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shoal, and on some days when she was in a bad mood or busy, even saw him more than Lizzie. He became a staple in for your everyday life the way the sun and lunch and the beach were. Looking back on the years later, you would realize that you had a tiny crush on him right away. One that had made you want to spend as much time with him as you did. Of course, that was only the start of things. Oh, these are the moments. Okay, so that's cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, guys. We're going to come back and definitely do these moments. And I'll definitely get the DLC. So we'll start with these 4 moments first. And then we'll proceed to where and then summer ends. I think this is really cool. Like, I really enjoy their games so far. If you have any other games that you want to recommend for Mushy Monday, please definitely leave a comment below. I'm sorry, my cat out there is having a fit, and I'll definitely play games that you guys would recommend. So thank you for joining me on this other Mushy Monday, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.